Alright guys, welcome to the lesson. We're going to go over these arpeggio shapes. The main shapes that I just went over. Just keep in mind, an arpeggio is just more or less an outline of the scale. You're not playing every single note in that scale. It's more of an outline. It's a framework you can kind of go with. All arpeggios don't necessarily have to be the same notes in the same scale to be considered an arpeggio. You have 3 and 4 string arpeggios. So you get things like that we can go over at another time, but for now we're going to go over the lick that you just heard that's going to be over 5 strings. And those arpeggios, you can master these. You can really master a lot on the fretboard because there's a good amount of stretching involved in these, and they'll cover a good amount of ground, and they'll help you stabilize your hand because you get a good amount of stretches. That's why I picked these exercises. These are things I've picked up over the years from either multiple players. I cannot take the credit for them. I mean, who could really take credit for arpeggios? There's always someone before you that's thought of something else. So again, this is just an accumulation of knowledge that I've learned over the past, I don't know, 15, 20 years, something like that. So that's the first shape. And what we're doing here is we're taking that ring finger and we're putting it on the 8th fret, then we're hammering up to the 5th. Then on the B string, we're going to use our middle finger on the 7th fret. I'm putting my index finger for the next note on the 5th fret. So after that, we're using the middle finger right here on the, I believe it's the D string. And we are going to be on the 7th fret and then on the A string. We're going to hit that on the 9th fret. And then with the index finger, we're hammering off to the 5th fret. But then after that, we're going up the scale. So again, with that index finger at the 5th fret, we're hammering all the way onto the 9th. And then we're downstroking the next string, which is the D string on the 7th fret. Downstroke to the next string, which is going to be on the, let's see here, the 5th fret. Hammer onto the 9th. Now on the next string, which is the B. Downstroke, which is going to be the 7th fret. 5th on the high E. And that's going to be the 8th fret we hammer back on. So that completes the first arpeggio. So that's the first position. The second position, we're just shifting up, the same exact thing. Same exact shapes. Keep the fingers the same exact way. Ring finger on the 10th. Hammer off from the 10th to the 7th. Middle finger is going on the B string on the 9th fret. Then we're going to the G string, which is going to be on the 7th fret. G string, 7th fret, then the middle finger, we're slapping that right on the 9th fret. A string, we're going to go on the 11th fret. And then we're hammering off to the, let's see, that's the 7th fret. So when we go back up this, it's just a little bit different. It's not the same exact notes, more or less, but we're adding one. So when we go back up, what we're doing here is we're downstroking on the, let's see here, the 7th. Hammer onto the 11th. Downstroke on the next string to the 9th, and then on the G string we're on the 7th fret, and then we're going to hammer on to the 11th, then the next string is the B on the 9th, and then the 7th on the high E, and then hammer on the high E to the 10th. So, next sequence here is going to be something that goes a little bit like that. So when we go through this line, we need to know that, again, there's a big space here. We're going to start with the pinky on the 12th fret, and we're going to hammer off into the 8th fret. So hammer off 12 to the 8th, and then we're going to go to the B string, and we're going to use the 10th fret, and we're going to the G string, and we're going to use the 9th fret. And then we're going to continue on to that D string, which is going to be the 10th fret, 12th fret on the A string. And we're going to hit that note right there on the A string, which is going to be on the 8th fret. And then the very last arpeggio is the same two shapes that we used at the beginning. Same two shapes we used at the beginning again. We're doing it right up here. So again, that's on the, let's see, 13th fret. We have the index finger. We're hammering off until the, let's see here, the 10th. The B string 12. Then we're going right to the G string on the 10th. Then we're going to, again, hit the 12th fret there with the middle finger. That is the G. I'm sorry, D. Then the A string, we're going to do 14. And then the A string, we're going to hammer off to 10. Then we're going to go right back up that. So that sounds like that, and we go starting on the A string at the 10th fret, hammer on to the 14th. Next note is the downstroke on the D string, and that's at the 12th fret. Then the G string, we're going to put the index finger there on the 10th fret. Hammer on there to the 14th. Downstroke to the B string on the 12th fret. High E is 10. And then hammer on to the 13th. And that completes the entire thing. So these are 5-string arpeggios, and they more or less scale the fretboard, but what you have to keep in mind, you really want to pace yourself in these. You can go down faster, and you often do. You often go down, it's easier to go down faster than it is to come up. So take your time coming up. You need to work on that, because everybody can go down. So the main thing here is to try your best to kind of like make sure that when you're going up and down the fretboard, it's as level sounding as possible. And that can be achieved by going a bit slower when you're going up, because there's more notes going up on the scale than there are down. So take your time, it'll sound equal. So let me know in the comments if there's anything else that you would like to learn about. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave them below or message me. The tabs will be included for this.